social science, that is geography. As you all know that geography is the study of places and environment mainly. So today in this geography, this year you have the first chapter, that is the globe and the maps. To learn geography very well, globes and maps are the important teaching aids for us. For you, they are the learning aids. So they are very important. It is a part of the study of geography. So you need to know what is a globe, what is a map, and what is the importance of globe and maps. Why we have to learn all those things. How to read globe, how to read maps. All these things has to be learned so that you may go on for higher studies in geography. That is, you can go on for learning about different continents, different states, different cities, everything. Whatever you want to learn in geography, if you know very well to read the globe and map, then it will be very easy for you to learn geography. So, in this lesson, what are the concepts that we are going to learn? The main important concepts that we are going to learn in this chapter are importance and use of maps and globes. What is a globe? What is a map? What are the importance of globe and maps? Both all these things you are learning. Then you are also going to learn about the essential components of map making. What are the things that are required to draw a map, or how to draw a map? All these things you are going to learn in this topic, essential components of map. The other things that we are going to learn are how to use the geographical signs and symbols in a map. Whenever you see the map, you can see the edges, in the sides. There will be many signs, colors also. Different colors will be used in the maps and different signs will be used in the maps. So why are they used? How to read all those signs and symbols, that also you are going to learn. And how to read the map, that is what, how to read the map by using all these geographical symbols that are used in the map. How you can read that, how you have to read all these things you are going to learn in this chapter, that is globe and maps. First we shall learn about the globe. What is a globe? What is the importance of learning globe? How we have to read the globe. All these things we will learn in this chapter.
What is a globe? You have already learned about the shape of the earth. That is, earth is spherical in shape, right? So it is represented by a globe. Can we see whole of the earth at a time? No. So what we will do, we are using the globes. Globe is a miniature. Miniature means small form. Miniature model of the earth. If we see the photographs taken from the satellite, that is of the earth, we can see only a part of the earth. I'll show you the picture. See here. This is a photograph of the earth taken from the satellite. We can see only one part of the earth. That's all, isn't it, children? But if we have a globe, we can see the other parts of the earth also, as we can rotate the globe. If we rotate the globe, we can see all the parts of the earth on the globe. So, what is a globe means? Globe is a miniature model of the earth.
As you all know now, what is a globe? Now, what are the features of globe? What are the features of, what are the important things that we can learn from the globe? It is a miniature model of the earth. It looks just like the earth only. What is the shape of the earth? It is spherical in shape, isn't it? In the same way, even the globe is there. You have learned that. So you are going to, the feature of the globe is, it is a miniature model of the earth. Okay, you cannot see the can't unless you watch it through the satellite. So when we are sitting in a classroom and we want to see the earth, we can do one thing, that is we can just go and bring the globe and watch it. Okay, that is one of the important feature of the globe. Then it is a true representation of the earth's spherical shape. It's not flat as you see on maps. In map it will be flat, isn't it? But on the globe, actually how it is there on the earth, in the same way it looks on the globe also. Then it gives us many information about many features of the earth. There are many features of the earth that we are going to learn in this and the next topics. That also you can learn easily through a globe. It gives us many information about many features of the earth. Then not only that, it is a simple teaching as well as learning aid for any student or for any teacher. Globes are the best teaching as well as learning aid. Only if you have the globe, you can rotate the globe. I think you have already seen that how a globe can be seen, what is a globe and all. So if we just rotate it, we can locate the places exactly on the location of the exact location of the places on the earth using a globe. That is why it is a simple learning as well as teaching aid.
Uses of a globe. The globe is useful to know the shape of the earth. It also helps us to understand the position, shape and size of the continents, oceans and seas. The lines of latitudes and longitudes on the globe help us to locate places and political boundaries. Now, what are these latitudes and longitudes? First, we shall learn what are latitudes. Latitudes and longitudes are the imaginary lines drawn on a globe to help us easily locate places exactly where it is located. Latitudes are the horizontal lines drawn on the globe. It specifies the north-south position of a point on the Earth's surface. Latitude is an angle which ranges from 0 degree at the equator to the 90 degree at the poles. The green color line is there, no? That is equator. The latitudes are drawn from equator towards north as well as towards south. As our shape of the earth is round, the latitude's size decreases at towards the poles. Latitudes are also called as the parallels drawn on the globe which run from east to west. The center point of the globe in the north is called as North Pole and in the south it is called as South Pole. These latitudes are mentioned in different names at different angles. They are drawn from 0 degree at equator towards 90 degree at the poles. These latitudes have different names. At 0 degree we have equator. The 0 degree latitude is called as equator. Then at 23.5 degree north is the Tropic of Cancer. At 66.5 degree north we have Arctic Circle. At 90 degree north it is North Pole. Now towards south we have equator at 0 degree, 23.5 degree south Tropic of Capricorn, 66.5 degree south we have Antarctic Circle. At 90 degrees south there is South Pole. Equator divides the earth into two major hemispheres. Hemispheres means half of the sphere. One is northern hemisphere and the second one is southern hemisphere. You can see the black color dark line. That is the equator dividing the earth into two hemispheres. The northern part of the equator is called northern hemisphere and the southern part of the equator is called southern hemisphere. Now, what are longitudes? Longitudes are also called as meridians. They are the imaginary lines drawn between the two poles. They divide the earth into 360-degree equal segments like that of an orange. 0-degree longitude passing through Greenwich in England is called the prime meridian. One half of the earth is measured in 180-degree longitudes of east, while the other half in 180-degree longitude is of west longitudes, and latitudes and longitudes form a grid in which they intersect at each other at right angle. So, while reading the location of a place on the earth, you need to know the degrees of latitude and longitude. For example, the city of Orleans is located at 30-degree north and 90-degree west. By using the equator and prime meridian, we can divide the world into 4 hemispheres. Northern and southern hemisphere we have already learnt. Now by using the prime meridian, the earth also can be divided into eastern hemisphere and western hemispheres. There are 4 hemispheres. They are the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere and the western hemispheres. A good globe helps us to understand the inclination of the axis. Now, what is this axis? Axis is an imaginary line which cannot be seen uh, around an object that rotates. You can see here the center one white color stick like thing is there, no? That is called as the axis. Earth rotates on its own axis. A good globe helps us to understand the inclination of the axis. Inclination means the degree of tilting or sloping of the axis. Then the movements of the earth, that is rotation, which causes day and night, and another is the revolution. Revolution causes seasons, you know all these things. And also their effects. The effects, it means the day and night caused by the rotation and the seasons caused by the revolution. A globe gives the general information about geographical features such as mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, islands, rivers, etc. These were the uses of the globe. Now we shall move on to maps. The globe can give us only the very general information about the earth, but maps give us a detailed information of a place, state or a country, and also about other geographical features of a particular place also you can get. Maps are a diagrammatic representation of the whole earth or a part of it on a flat surface according to scale is called a map. The science and art of map making is known as cartography. Now, what is this scale? It's not the ruler that you use to draw lines. Scale is a ratio between the distance on the map and the corresponding distance on the ground. This helps us to know the distance between the two places on the ground. The distance between 2 points on the map are closer, but actually the distance among those two places is very far. Just how you write in mathematics, no? If there are 5 children, you draw a child and show it has 5 children, isn't it? In the same way, on the map they give the numbers like 1 centimeter is equal to number of meters or number of miles or number of kilometers. Then according to that, the distance between the two places is drawn on the map. This is called the scale on a map. Various types of maps which is bound as a book is known as an atlas. you can see very different types of maps on an in an atlas, isn't it, children? You have political maps, you have physical maps, you have distribution maps. All these maps can be found in the atlas. So the collection of various maps bound as a book is known as an atlas. What are the components of a map? What are the things that should be there in a map to be a good map? The basic components of a good map are title, scale, latitudes and longitudes, direction and index. Title. Every map must have a suitable title which tells us the content of a map. For example, we can see the physical features of India map will be there, political map will be there. In the political map, there will be the different states in different colors, and their capital cities also will be made known in the political maps. Whereas in the physical feature map, you can find all the physical features like mountain ranges, deserts, islands, coastal plains, all these things, all the physical features can be found in the physical features map. So a title is a must for any map. Either it can be a political map or a physical map or a distribution map. The next component is scale. We have already discussed what is a scale. A scale is a ratio between the distance on the map and the corresponding distance on the ground. It helps us to know the distance between two places on the ground. The distance between 2 points on the map are closer than the actual distance on the map. Another important component of a map are the latitudes and longitudes. They are a grid of imaginary lines. We have already learned this also. It helps us to find the location, distance and direction of places given on the map. Then another important component is direction. In a map, the direction is shown by a symbol of arrows with the letter N on the top. The head of the arrow points to the north. Once you know the north, you can easily find out the other directions. You can see the orange color mark, children. That is the directions. It will be given in all the maps. So directions are also one of the components of a map. Another important symbol or the component of a map are index or key. This is also called as legend. Legend. Index or key, or else it can be called also as legend. These symbols are used to represent any feature. They are called as index. The index is an important component and represents all the features that are shown on a map. That is the national boundary, international boundary, capital cities, deserts, rivers, islands. Everything can be shown on the map, and those details are given in the index. Various colors and symbols are used in the index. For example, blue color for water bodies, green for lowlands, brown for deserts, like this. The uses of maps. Maps help us in many ways. They are easy to carry. You all know very well. That is the first main help of the map. Globe means we cannot carry it everywhere. So what we people will use? We use maps. Now how these maps are useful? Maps help us to locate places like towns, cities, districts, states, countries and continents. Maps show the physical features such as mountains, plateaus, plains, coastal areas, islands, etc. They also help us to know the major routes of transport such as roads, railways, etc. Not only that, they also help us to understand the distribution of crops, minerals, industries, etc. Now in these maps you can see, children, major crop areas, then the major engineering industries and also roadways. Such kind of maps are very useful for us. Maps are also very important for the military people. They'll be in different locations at different times. So if they have the maps, they can easily locate their places and come back to their places, isn't it? So maps are very important for military people at the time of war and for security. Maps guide the tourists to their destination. Maps are very good teaching, learning aids in the classroom, and not only that, they are very easy to carry because you can fold it fold it and keep it in your pocket and go. So that is a easy means of locating places, isn't it? So maps are useful for us in many ways. Geographical symbols. A symbol is a sign that stands for an object. The symbols used in a map are the same all over the world. These cannot be different or it cannot be changed. The symbols give lot of information regarding all the topographical symbols or everything will be given in these maps. Then the colors used in the maps. These colors used in the maps represent different physical features. For example, blue color stands for water bodies like oceans, seas, lakes and rivers. Then the green color is used to show the lowlands or the plains. Yellow color is used to show the highlands or the land higher than the plains. Then the brown colors are used for high mountains. Brown color is used for hills, is used to show hills and lower parts of mountains. Then the dark brown color for high mountains. White or purple color is used for snow covered areas. This colors you can see in your textbook, children. It is there. To read and understand a map, you need to know the meaning of the symbols that are used in the map. Just like how you read the letters of the alphabet to form meaningful words, no? In the same way, you need to know the symbols that are used in the map to read a map. So the different colors, the lines and what are those symbols denote, everything you should be knowing. In this map you can see, children, all the latitudes, longitudes are there, the scale is there, the distance between the two places is there, then the capital city is marked. So map reading is a skill. We must know the 4 skill of map reading and we need certain general directions too. What are those? They are to locate places on the map. We should have the knowledge of the latitude and longitude. Then only we can easily locate the places. Then the second one is to find the direction. The symbol of the arrow pointing to the north helps us to find the other directions. And also to find the distance. To find the distance, what we are using? We should use the scale. The scale given on the map helps us to know the distance between two places. If we know all these things, then we can read the map easily. So, map reading is a skill which includes the knowledge of all these things. Okay, children, if you have any doubts on this chapter, you can ask me through WhatsApp and clear your doubts, children. Thank you.